Don't go shopping while
While
hungry.
hungry.
Especially, well, not just...
Hey everyone, welcome back to This Perfect Mess. My name is Shiro Juguna.
Hi everyone, I'm Dennis.
Yeah, and we are back with another episode. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos, for commenting. We see your comments. We read every single one of them and try to respond as much as possible. Thank you for everyone that has followed me on Instagram at Shiro Juguna. If you haven't, please check me out. I post nice stuff. I give you direction on Nairobi. Anyway, so yeah, today we are back with another episode, and we post every Monday and Wednesday. So be sure to check out our videos. We are back with another episode, and we thought of discussing how we save money on our own. I'll probably be dealing with a lot of things to do to save money in Nairobi. That's what I know. So, and then he'll give us his perspective and the small things that we think are trivial, but are
Yeah,
really
we'll
big.
give a little bit different, perspective. She'll give you kind of like general overview, and I'll also try to do general, but it's something that we just came up, we didn't put too much thought into it, so maybe we'll make it into a series, so
Yeah.
definitely come back. If something else comes up, we'll record it as well. So, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll go with the ladies. I know ladies like to have like a
Well,
lot
sure,
of
I'll
clothes.
go with the guy's perspective. So,
Yeah, so I'd say like with the ladies, what I do to save money is I thrift some clothes that I can. I know some people cringe when they hear, oh, going to the
Yeah.
market and thrifting and stuff, but it saves me money. For example, I'm going to insert them in somewhere. I'm going to show. I buy my boots for $5, which is an equivalent of 500 shillings or less. Most of them actually, I thrifted them for $5. And sometimes if I can find something at a thrift shop for cheaper than, and it's good quality, I tend to go to a thrift shop and get something good, and also something that I can find at a thrift shop. Now that one I'm going to invest a little bit more money to get.
sure, absolutely. The thing that really amazed me is that, all those kind of like high couture, whatever they call them, like brands that cost, like for a belt, you can literally spend $1,000 if you buy it from like Dolce & Gabbana or, one of those ridiculously priced, Western brands, basically French, or, most of them are French. But all of that stuff is made in China. So, and when you actually look at the belt that was, that you paid $5 versus the one that you paid $1,000, just an obscene amount, there's not much of a difference in quality. Sure, some people say like, oh yeah, it's like, so much better. Well, leather is leather, it's not like you can just, invent new leather. Okay, if you put like gold on the buckle, sure enough.
Yeah.
But even if it's not leather, even if it's just like, some, fake whatever plastic, would you really wear it more, and would it really make you feel better that you literally wasted like $1,000 on this stupid thing? But even like $20, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Obviously, I gave like a ridiculous example, so.
Yeah, I know. Like some people just feel good doing it, but yeah, I'm not saying if you can afford it and you like to do it, go for it. But I'm just
Okay,
giving tips for
okay.
a normal.
If you can afford, I have to
Type of-
correct you, if you can afford $1,000 to just waste it out, just donate it, because seriously, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can't even imagine buying like a bag, for $1,000 and just enjoying it when you know that you could have donated and probably like fed an army of little kids,
Yeah.
for that much money.
I
But
think some people, maybe it's the social class.
maybe, sure enough, you can say like, oh yeah, I just had my bag that I paid like $1,000 for, it's a real Dolce & Gabbana, but you can't even tell because, you could have bought the same, Chinese, substitute. But anyway,
Oh yeah, and on the thrifting part, I actually have a tip. I was sharing it actually today with a friend, and sometimes if you're in Kenya and if you buy like those new jeans, like most of them stretch. So for me, it's either I buy my jeans in a thrift shop because those ones are original, or buy them at, let's say, Mr. Price. Yes, okay, I'm not trying, they haven't paid me, I'm just giving out a tip. They haven't, okay, did I say? They haven't paid me. But really, Mr. Price has really good jeans, the old quality ones that don't stretch. So I'd prefer having 2 pairs of jeans that are really good than having a closet full of those like,
yeah,
I'd say jeans that are
it's absolutely
stretchy.
true. Now we have to point out that thrifting, if some people probably don't know, especially if they come from the West, it's not buying cheap knockoff goods, you know, it's not like buying cheap Chinese, you know, things that, you know, are literal knockoffs. Thrifting is what, let's say, we donate to Goodwill or Salvation Army, and some of those clothes they actually ship to Kenya, and you know, I don't know how the whole process is, but thrifting is when someone wore like good quality, you know, expensive item, and then they gave it up, kind of
They sell it.
donated. And so people in Kenya, like markets, you know, you can probably list a couple in description, they actually sell them, you know, and the price is very cheap.
Sure,
But this is not a fake product. It's just, you know, kind of like barely worn, you know, basically.
Yeah, some of them are actually like close to new. Okay, not going too much into that first point. What do you do with
so
this?
I'll basically go with kind of like a guy's perspective. A lot of money is wasted on monthly subscriptions. Any kind of services that you think, $5 a month doesn't seem like a lot of money. Let me sign up. And those businesses, they make a lot of money on those subscriptions, because the way it works is that most people forget that they signed up, and then they see this charge. Sometimes they don't even check their bank account, and it's just a little drip, you know, like every month, little by little. And the thing is, like, sure enough, if it's just one service, you know, $5 probably is not going to kill you if you, you know, kind of waste it. But then we tend to sign up for many other services, you know, and that adds up, especially, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, and then you get like $5 here, $10 there, and it just like, you know, it literally just, you waste money for something that you could have avoided. Like, for instance, I'm not going to go too technical on this, but for instance, people pay for cloud services, right? Kind of like a storage. It's a good thing, by the way, if you want to back up your phone, you know, in case you lose it. It's very nice to back it up. But sometimes people go and pay for those services. Well, what they don't know, for instance, Google Drive, that free Google account, it gives you 15 gigabytes of free storage. And you can download the Google Drive app from the Apple Store or from the, you know, Play Store on Google, and actually use it to back up all your data for free. Okay, 15 gigabytes is not a lot, but still, you know, you can do much with it. Also, if you want to get more, for instance, there is a service called Mega, and it's it's a New Zealand service. The website is mega.nz, so we'll put a link. And those guys will give you 20 gigabytes of free storage. Well, obviously, if you use several services, so right now you have 20 plus 15, so you already got 35 gigabytes for free. You just have to kind of like, you know, find them, you know, kind of use them separately. And by this, you will eliminate the fees that you pay for data storage. Additionally, people like to pay for Netflix. Now, I'm not saying Netflix is bad, but still, if you are in a situation when, you know, it's, you know, those $15 that you pay every month, it's too much. You can also watch YouTube.
Yeah, or carpool with people. I know like people used to.
Well, I wouldn't kind of tell people to share accounts, because it seems like Netflix are cracking down on it. But seriously, you can find a lot of good stuff on YouTube. Like, people think on YouTube is just like, you know, just like silly videos, but no, you can actually find, you know, old movies, you can find documentaries, whatever you like, music. So there's a lot of that stuff on YouTube. So that's what I would recommend. And obviously YouTube is free, so you don't have to pay for it.
Good stuff, babies. My second and third point, I'm going to combine them.
Okay.
I'd go to the market, going to the market, and also having a pressure cooker. Now, guys, the first thing I bought when I
that thing scared me to death, but go ahead.
He doesn't like it. But the first thing I bought when I moved out was a pressure cooker, because I was living with my sister. She has it. My mom has it. I think it's just something that helps you. It first of all saves your energy. I know people are complaining right now in Kenya, cooking gas is expensive, so it saves you energy if you have to cook something, and it lets you eat something that you know of. I am not against buying the street boiled cereal or grains, But then for me, I have a very sensitive stomach, and they would add something and I would get stomach upsets. So I prefer going to the market. How it saves me money is what you will buy. For example, remember we found out, we went to a certain store, I won't mention the name of course, but we went to a certain market store, and 2 kgs of potato cost us like 450 something shillings. That's like $4.5. And to tell you, like, 2 kgs of potatoes, I don't think we ate it like 3 times. It's such a small amount of potatoes, and I know this is ridiculous, but maybe in the market 400 is close to a bucket of potatoes, like 20 kgs of potatoes.
The tip, by the way, if you go to a store and they don't have a price tag on the item, don't buy it. Or at least like ask them how much they want for it. The guarantee is like that they definitely ask for like
because we hear there is that specific store, they don't show, if something is highly priced, they don't show how much they're charging packaging. So going to the market saves me money in a way that you can get it for really cheap in the market.
You can probably get fresh produce this way, you know, by just buying it from local, you know, growers and stuff.
And I'm actually going to link a video of one of my friends that went to the market and bought a week's long supply of grocery, using 1,000 shillings, which is close to $10. So yeah, going to the market and also having a pressure cooker so that you can boil it. You can boil your...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. The thing about me and pressure cookers is that they're kind of scary once they start releasing their, you know. Make sure you learn how to use that thing, because obviously it's dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Like, you know.
That's what can kill you.
Yeah, so... Okay, so are you done with your point?
Yeah.
Kind of like in the same token for me, told myself not to do it a million times, and I'm really guilty for doing this. Don't go shopping while hungry. Especially, well, not just like, you know, I mean, food shopping, obviously, you know. This is the worst mistake you can make, because then you'll buy like French baguettes that you don't need, or some pastry or something.
You overbuy that too.
Overbuy too. You like, look at this thing, oh, I'm definitely going to eat it, and then you buy it, and then you see something else, and it's just like an endless cycle. Plus, I haven't really witnessed it here, but in US, in the West, what they do, they usually put a bakery in the store, and they start baking. It's like right in the middle, and you go in, and there's this smell of this fresh bread, you know, that smells really nice, and it's just hard to ignore it. So you literally beeline towards the bakery section, and you buy the expensive stuff that they have in there. So yeah, please eat before you go. Don't go hungry. That's the worst thing you can do.
They actually do it here too.
They do it too?
Yeah,
okay,
they have bakeries.
It's pretty easy to, you know, to do it.
Oh yeah, to drift, and it's also not very good for your health. Now I'll go with having a fridge, and I know this is way, to you maybe it's a normal thing to have fridge. I think apartments in US have the fridge inside, but then in Kenya it's not. A fridge doesn't come with an apartment, so you have to buy it. And I know it's a little bit expensive, and I'd say if you can save up for even if it's a small fridge.
It's a really good tip. I hear you.
Yeah, like save up for a fridge, because when I was living alone, I found that when I had a fridge, when I bought a fridge, it was easy for me. It kind of connects with the going to the market thing, because when you go to the market, when you have a fridge, you can buy more at the market and come and store it. And also with your pressure cooker, you can pressure cook more grains, or so what we call cereal, and then freeze them, and you can just get it and cook it. So I find it very, first of all, it saves you time, it saves you energy, it saves you money. So if you can, just, you don't have to buy it within a month, just save up towards it. It's a really good investment.
Yeah, simple stuff like this, which you don't, well, especially for, you know, Westerners, we don't really think how much the fridge can help, and freezer too, if you know, if you can get both. So that's a really good tip. For me, kind of gonna say like a little bit of a controversial thing. Now, I would definitely recommend to pay more for things that you use regularly. Now, just to give you an example, now for instance, if you work remotely and if you are using a laptop, or if you are using, smartphone for that, or if you use it to like make money, anything, whatever it is, if it's a car, if you just commute, like, let's say not like short commute, but if you earn money with it, I would definitely invest more into buying more expensive item, like a laptop or a smartphone, versus buying some cheap, just, oh yeah, I saved money, type thing. The reason being is that it's your productivity, it's how much enjoyment you get out of it, and how easy it is to use. In case of a car, it can also be safety, because if you buy some cheap car that's like literally falling apart, your life that you're kind of like bargaining with, gambling with. And I personally, I work remotely, so I definitely invest into a good laptop, because I have to work with Windows, and there's a lot of Windows computers that are just crap, they preload them with a ton of like, ads and all kinds of pop-ups. So yeah, all that stuff is very important, especially if you use it a lot, because it's also your mood, How many times have you guys had this situation when you use your like smartphone and then it like runs out of memory, or like it's slow? It's just kind of, it will make your day, because especially if you use it a lot. So that's kind of like my advice in this case.
Oh yeah, and also in that sense, it also saves you money, because if you're using it every day and you get something cheap, we always say that cheap is very expensive. So you will have to, it will break down, you have to buy. And if you accumulate the prices of buying like 3 times, it amounts to so much pain and also so much more money.
Thanks for reminding me. I have a story like my parents, they kind of like to buy cheap stuff. And my mom, she gets like the cheapest smartphone on the market, She's like, oh, I got this phone for $50, and it really warms her heart, that she got like the best deal. What she doesn't realize is that like in a few months, the keyboard stops working. Then she told me like, oh, I saw someone else's pictures on my phone, And then my dad is like, oh, there's a virus in there. Don't be that. Because the thing is, like, what happens with her is that the phone that she paid $50 for breaks down like in about a couple of months, and then she needs to buy another phone, which is, another money that she has to spend. Plus all the enjoyment and quality of life that she's missing, basically, So yeah, please don't do this kind of thing.
Yeah, and just to clear it out, we're not saying because we have the money. I'd also say, like, when it comes to buying such things, you have to learn delayed gratification. Oh, sure, I know one of my sisters, they watch my videos, so she knows. I know one of my sisters can't breathe, can't live without her phone. So if she loses her phone, she wants to buy it now, So what happens is, if you give yourself a little bit more time, like 2 more months, just a little bit more time, you will save up a little bit more, and it will save you all this pain of having to go back and forth. So we are not saying it from a point of people, don't say, oh, it's because you can afford. No, it's not because we can afford. Just learn to, I think saving money is all about delayed gratification. You just have to learn to do without something for some time to get something.
That's a very good point. Don't go all out and don't buy like the most expensive iPhone or whatever on the market. I'm saying like whatever you can afford. Because you can, like what Shira just said, you can just wait a little bit, just save a little bit more money and get like a little bit better item. Because there's a lot of good Android phones on the market. And the same with like Windows computers and obviously cars. I'm not suggesting that you go buy Ferrari or like BMW. Just look for something that can benefit you.
Something that's reasonable.
If you get better ABS brakes or anything,
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I'll go with my other point, and I'll say I am so tempted to combine them, but let me just say budgeting. There's so many budgeting apps that are free, and also you can write it on paper if you're an old soul, like someone over here. I write.
It's all right.
I know someone makes fun of me. He uses an Excel spreadsheet. I use papers because I just feel like I want.
Yeah. Well, I use Google spreadsheets because you can take it with you, like on the smartphone and stuff.
Yeah, but for some reason, I just feel like when I write it on paper, it's more, meaningful.
Someone likes dead trees.
Dead trees. Yeah, he makes fun of me, but yeah, what I'm saying is just budget. If you get your money, just say, I'm going to use this much to do this. Just have just have a certain percentage that you save as cash, a certain percentage that you do whatever you do with it, pay your bills and whatever. Just have a budget, because I find that anytime I write, if I go to town with, tell me, if you go to town with 1,000 shillings, it's enough. And if you go to town with 10,000 shillings, it's still enough. It tells you that when you have 10,000 shillings, you probably overspend. So I think the thing is just, if you're going for clothes shopping, for example, I think that's the kind of shopping that I just like. I don't like shopping, but if it's clothes, I'm in. But if you're going for clothes shopping, just say, okay, I'm going to use this much on tops, I'm going to use this on shoes, I'm going to use, and if it goes over, just, it's not a must.
Yeah, that's a good point. Many people just go, and especially when you don't have like physical cash on you, if you use M-Pesa, for instance, or credit card or debit card,
yeah,
it's so easy to overspend because you don't see that money.
True.
It's just like numbers, and people are generally pretty bad with numbers.
Yeah.
And yeah, just put it on the list, and you can do it in the phone, or you can do it on a piece of paper. You know, it doesn't matter. So it's a really good point.
Yeah, you know, babes, that's actually a very good point. I think I remember they were calling it something like psychological spending.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you don't feel it. It's kind of like it's numbers in your phone.
So it's better to have cash. It's dangerous, but if you are like the impulse buyer, try to go shopping with some cash.
Well, it's not something that we came up with.
It's something that is actually there. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, for me now, in case I understand that not everyone can like fly or do any kind of a booking, but if you have to fly or if you have to get like a hotel, for instance, if you have a like vacation that you want to go to, or pretty much anything where you have to book something, try to book early. It's kind of like obvious, but not very. The thing is, like, you know, if you get, let's say if I were to fly right now, let's say, well, tomorrow it would be like astronomically expensive, but even a week ahead of time would still be quite expensive. So if you know, try to book early, and also check prices. Now for US, I personally book with Google Flights, but there's also Expedia, there's also Kayak. I know internationally there's booking.com, which also does booking of hotels. Try to combine things if you can, you know, like for instance your flight. Sometimes if you book with the hotel, you can also get like a complimentary ride from the airport. Also, if you can, try to go off season. Let's say if you have a vacation, if you can, obviously, don't go like during Christmas, you know, or whatever the holiday, because obviously everyone else is going at the same time. So if you just wait a little bit, if you can, you know, you can get a really good deal, and we're talking about like hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more. So, and obviously research, like, you know, especially flights, you can use several aggregators, for instance, you know, if you can. And but it's definitely a separate subject, so, you know, but you can save a lot this way. So.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going with the last point.
Okay.
And I'd say have a savings account. I know I had one with Cooperative Bank. Okay, I'm not paid by these people that I'm mentioning. I had one with Cooperative Bank that allows you to withdraw money only once in 90 days, one in 3 months. That one is a bit dangerous because there is no point of having money if you can't use it. Because I think it's like a rainy, Dennis calls it rainy day fund. I call it like emergency, like everybody
sure the
else.
same.
But you don't want to have money and you're stuck and you can't use it. So I have a KCB one.
So you separate your money basically in several accounts.
Like there is the one that you use, the current one, and then you have the savings one. The KCB one, it allows you to withdraw once a month. You can save using your phone, but you can't withdraw. That's what I like about it. You can send your money to the bank without, for example, if you get some money and you want to save, let's say 100 shillings or 200 shillings, you can send it to your bank account with your phone, but you can never withdraw it with your phone. So that kind of motivates you to not withdraw it, because it's once in a month, and also you have to go to the bank. So that keeps me from not with, unless it's really necessary.
You know, also it's a safety thing too, in case somebody like steals your password or tries to, you know, steals your phone if you don't have like, you know, a passlock on it. So they won't be able to just get all your money out of it. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's saving bank. I think it's called Simba Saving, the KCB one.
Yeah, so obviously they're not paying you, right? So you're just like sharing your
I'm just sharing my
So yeah, it's a really good point. But now saving money, it's such a broad subject. If we come up with more, we'll definitely post it. But this is just something kind of like off the top of our heads that we could think of and wanted to share with you guys.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and be sure to check other of our videos. Comment and tell us the tips. We also don't know everything. Tell us how you save money in the comment section.
That would be interesting to hear your, you know, your ways of saving.
Yeah, we like all the tips that you're giving us, you guys. And until next time, you guys have a good one. Bye.